Precisely. They gave up this plant pretty early on. They've lost 2 with Valda straight in with the Glock. Crimson Golden sent packing. Fnatic, if they want to get back into this round, you feel like someone's going to need to pull an impeccable few kills together and string this back into proximity, because OG already half the bomb is ticked away. It doesn't look like Fnatic are too interested. They may just want to hold on to these Kevlar, hold on to this kit and smoke. Flusher will be tested, passes with flying colors, but the round is over. OG take it, Fnatic looking to hold on, and I think they will. Attempting to blot out the sun, and they keep their 2 players over on A. Time still dwindling. Good incendiary put into position. Brolan spins around for 2 before he gets silenced, but has the damage already been inflicted good enough to yield the round out of this? MBK on only 3 HP, and Golden cleans them up with JW.
Actually started things off with allowing those rotations. Now this has gone quite well for Leikkeet initially, and in fact Mantu is even going to keep the advantage for now. In fact, this is now no more rifles available. For Flusher, that's not always a problem, but it's still going to end up as a 1v2. In fact, as Issa with 2 lovely 1Ds leaves Brolan alone.
Alone at range, but the youngster drills in for the first frag, now looking for more. 4 kills already to his name. No idea where NBK resides. With his lowly tech 9, but the Frenchman makes his bullets count. Fnatic dealing with all the angles, all the potential threats. And you would feel like this is going to be a bit of sanity and a bit of serenity on the server, or perhaps not. JW tries to snatch that piece away before he is silenced, and now Flusher's USP is all that remains. So OG will be able to get the full plant down. Flusher living on borrowed time.
Oh, no, Mantu's dropped down. It's actually a smart decision. Make sure there's no way for an isolated jaw, and he's very close to killing Issa. In fact, the bomb will do the job. Where this push is going, and they might have missed a beat. The push through connector, but Crim snaps back around. They're probably questioning why on earth he's not on the stairs, but they'll kill him off anyway. Golden has managed to rotate in time, and the AWP still sits at the back of the site. JW in a very good position, but he does deny the plant. I was going to say, they picked an interesting spot. It may seem like a slim angle, but there's nowhere else for them to go. The second, though, leikkeet is going to charge him down. Golden, however, is already here, looking to try and save the day. Bomb on the deck, and the rest of the team starting to rotate in. No grenades to deny them this time, and Golden, he's just holding things down. It's left all onto Issa, and Flusher comes up with that second AWP. I don't know, it's just looking disjointed, like individual fights that are going the way of OG. Sure, OG are hitting some tasty shots with the Deagles, but there's been no trade potential in a lot of these kills from Fnatic. And while that's one thing that Maniac pointed out at the beginning of the match, if there's one team that knows how to trade kills, OG is at the top of the list.
Yeah, certainly against what feels like a bit of a vulnerable Fnatic. Most of these pretty heavy defeat for round 10 coming up. And it's getting to that kind of... Both AWPs on the server are owned by Fnatic. Just under 30 seconds. Now moving to the site. There's a player coming up through on the CT. That will be Brolan. Flusher still waiting. Great shot from Brolan onto Issa. And with Alexi down to 32, the percentage is now shifting in favor of Fnatic. Enough time has elapsed that they can get up close, and there's still plenty of time on the fuse on the bomb. Valda 1 on 3. Could Fnatic somehow pull this off? No kits between the 3 of them. An incendiary tossed perfectly into jungle, forces Valda's hands to come out into the open. He's looking to try and clutch this one out, but Brolan's AWP stands tall and delivers.
As of right now, I think I've seen him anywhere but stairs. In fact, he's been playing a lot around the ramp. JW in position, but the shot is completely missed. Flusher has taken a lot of map control instead, but they lose Brolan in return. And he looks like he's going to fall from his advantageous spot. It leaves Golden to try and pick up the pieces, and he won't last long either. JW 1v3, 13 HP. Valde, oh, he's hunting his prey.
On the accelerator, they've had a couple of decent results the last few rounds. Last one, of course, they want to forget about real fast. But with this force, if they were to concede, this is a fast track to OG potentially getting 10 or 11 rounds in the half. JW patiently waits. He knows that the second player is going to peek him. Golden, that dig is beautiful. And alongside Flusher, Fnatic quickly turning this round on its head. Golden could go out for more. He's using the smoke, waits for a flashbang, but Alexi's up to the task before he's battered down by JW's AWP.
With 20 seconds left, he needs an instant win versus JW, and JW hasn't really been missing too many. Lurking around this B site. Brolin has called for support. I think he spotted someone as well. That's a lot of information, and more importantly, a frag. How has Issa managed to get here, though? He sneaked all the way up in towards the A site. Crims was not expected, but it's a whiff. Not something you put down to Crims' name very often. And because of that, the site has fallen. It has to be a retake, a man-2 spot for an AWPer. Well, I don't think they're going to be predicting this.
No, this is a very difficult read, but Golden, due diligence, finding man-2. Valda onto the open. It's a 1-for-1 trade. All falls on Issa. 10 HP left. He picked up a crazy clutch yesterday, but no repeat performance. Excellent work on Flusher. And at least Fnatic do bounce back, but it will still be a 9-6 deficit come the second half. Should they win this second pistol? Fnatic straight into aggressive positioning with a HE toss through middle. They're keeping Flusher stuck at the back while the rest of their team start to move in. man2 up close. Issa letting players cross, and now he goes in, but not anticipating a third, and that catches him completely off guard. man2 now on sandwich will deliver some delicious headshots, and JW goes back in for two of his own. It's back and forth. It's chaotic, but it's come down to a 2-on-2, and things now simmering back down, Tom. And certainly etched up a couple of notches. Flusher, right angle as a big trade goes the way of JW. He's picked up 4 already. He's on for the 8th. MBK out into the open. And JW on the brink of something special. At such an important moment in this matchup. Does he get denied? Yes, MBK actually pivots into action. He's got a kit, but he doesn't have time to play with. Out comes Flusher. Beautiful headshots. But MBK, it will fall on deaf ears, and he goes down with the ship.
Out there, though. Speak of the devil, he has now just matched JW on kills, but it doesn't last very long at all. The trade's coming back thick and fast, as there's still a couple of players on this B side. One of them holding the cross. Crim's already low on HP. JW's been tagged down as well. And well, with 2 scouts remaining, yeah, it's still possible. What? A double nade from man2 turns this into a 1v1. It's the SMG master facing off against the scout king. man2 with his snipers is so damn good. He doesn't quite get it over the line. 8 HP, and well,
little alteration. Valda with 1. Flashbang could not have been worsely timed, and it was Brolan's flash that wrecked JW. Oh, bruh. You have to feel bad for him. Imagine if that ends up costing the man2. I think he knows what's coming up. It's okay. You can breathe a sigh of relief, Alexi. And he goes in for the kill. So it all worked out in the end. OG get their first CT round. Angles simultaneously. That's why MBK is making moves up to catwalk now. It allows man2 to focus his fire elsewhere, but he goes back in one more time to check and gets rewarded with the kill. He goes down, but the damage to Fnatic has been severe. Wrecking Brolan. That could have easily been a kill, but they still dart back in. They still bring it down to a 2-on-2. Flusher just catching the elbow of Issa around the corner, but still looking into kitchen. And as they get baited out of position, Flusher goes in for one more. He's had so much impact in this game already, but he's against the top fragger in OG. Oh, Valda, the headshot comes in, and Flusher winds back the years.
They do have a little bit of a gap in the smoke. Golden, he's trying to pre-fire it, but he loses his life to the Dane as well, who's performing incredibly well. Crims, however, will put it down in an awkward interaction. JW's met Alexi B on the flank, and Alexi B wins it. That clears out Palace. It puts Brolin in a really awkward spot. He knows that there's a man coming from behind, pops him out, sits back, trying to hold on. He's got a teammate further back on the ramp, but he's not too much help at this point. And Crims, he's going to have to try and take the 1v3. It doesn't happen. And we see Alexi B, the clutch that they lost might have been enough to break them mentally. Valde has also been spotted. They know he's in this window. Easy for JW. 24th kill of the game. YMBK is going to get 1, but JW is there to return. It's left all onto man2. He's not having a worldie, but 4 kills would definitely be enough. Unfortunately, it's not happening this time. And while
and even more. Inferno next battlefield, and JW straight through on the murder hole, trying to live up to the name, but it's actually his life that's been deemed forfeit. And OG put a second alongside it. Valder up close onto Crims, who tries to make the most of that momentary weakness. And OG, they continue going in the right path. I almost wrote this off in my mind when I saw the buys come in, but fair play, it may not be done just yet either. We saw Golden with a miracle clutch in this very position yesterday, but too many angles to cover. And this may not be the time to switch it up when you're a player behind already.
Crims, he's going to battle out from the palace. That's the Danger Dane gone. And now he's looking for more. Issa doesn't have much support. In fact, no one's even rotating to help. Crims realizes this battle might not be worth taking, but he goes back for more. He had a slow start, but this round might be enough for everybody to forget. Alexi B, he's found a trade at least, but Crims is looking to do it all. A third kill already, and Nathan is the last man standing. He won't be able to do it. The last time they played Mirage, Fnatic managed 0 rounds on the team.
So much space as they touched on the desk on Mirage, and it seems like he's not slowing down anytime soon. And now we're starting to see all the pieces of the puzzle come crashing against each other, but it's OG that remains standing. A little bit weakened perhaps, but Fnatic certainly worse off on these trades. MBK whiffing so many bullets, finally gets it done with a last bullet in the magazine, and OG do take the pistol. 4 players headed over on the B site. This leaves only NBK alone. They've completely bitten down on this, maybe more than they could chew, but the bomb's gone down and NBK survives a little bit longer. Getting aggressive, using the mobility of that MP9 to good use. Had he have taken down the second player, that may have been good enough, and it still could be. 13 seconds left. They have to draw away one of these remaining Swedes to get the bomb planted, but look at the HP bars to kick things off early on already. Inferno proving to be a little bit dodgy for OG. Valdo wants to try and deny any saved players in pit. Molotov's put down. Mantu takes the initiative, actually pushes in and gets 2 kills alongside Alexi and make it a third as well. A beautiful bait and switch, crossfire, and OG looking good to take a potential 3-1. It's all about how much damage they can inflict now. Crims, who had a slow start on Mirage, at least perking up a little bit here, but still needs to go in for more frags, and he will miss out from MBK. 4 players remain on OG, standing against the informed Flusher, but he is low, he is weary, and he's about to find out that it's a stacked site. MBK getting 1. At least Flusher died before time. It could have got even more awkward. Brolan and Crims now make that just Brolan. Flusher straight through alongside JW, pushing the smoke because of course they do. And Alexi, who had a slow start to Mirage, already off to 5 kills, is now also being fragged out, putting...
Not really in the spot that he was expecting, and I think now that he's so low on HP, both players from the CT side are going to be allowed.
And that's a big pick this early in the round. They can start to force OG to go in for these desperation rotations, but Alexi stands his ground and gets 2, the second through the smoke, piercing the head of Flusher. That's one hell of a way to answer the call.
I think the flash was a little bit late for Golden. It looked foolish as he almost showed off while walking backwards into the smoke. That nade might actually kill off Brolan as well. Mantu, he gets his pick in the end. They do have kits available, but that's all the utility gone. Another missed shot as they get closer. But nonetheless, they're not actually gaining that much ground. Eventually, Crims puts down the first. Alexi B will get 1, but he can't quite complete his triple. It will be to hold on the other side of the map. And again, it looks like Fnatic plan to hit into A.
Yeah, even though they have a player advantage, OG, they will be at a 2v3 stacked against them. NBK, oh, that spray transfer is something sublime. And that puts them on the back foot, but Crims may not be done just yet. Still 45 seconds, but a heat-seeking grenade lands next to him, actually dinking Mantu, but slightly through the wall, which keeps the AWPer alive. There's another smoke put down onto bottom banana. This may afford Mantu the chance to rotate back over on A, so it's a timing play that they went for. Flashbang out, Alexi cannot hold on, and now Mantu's rotation has to be cancelled. His vacation cut short, goes back in, taking down Brolan. 33 seconds, they can now re-rotate again. Golden must be dizzy from spinning back and forth this many times, and then BK holds the line for 1. Typically, these players have been in pits. This off angle may catch them unaware, and indeed it does, as Crim spins around as it takes his head clean off. and then follows up onto Golden. 6 apiece.
Change about it, though. He's been getting wrecked on Banana. What's the way to change that? Don't go Banana, and he comes up with 3 kills. Big round from someone who's been silent thus far, and that could be the change that's necessary. Brolin, he may have 2 kills, but he also has 29 HP, and the AWP's going to be there to finish him off anyway. 7-7. Wow. They've been anything but. They haven't been a retake. They've just been losing them. The afterplants from Fnatic have been superb in the majority of these situations. The clutch capability of this team have been fantastic. Can they give it a go in their last attempt?
Absorbing a lot of bullets on these retakes, but this time it's MBK that spits them out with venom onto JW. Flusher watching the cross. He goes down. It's all set up for Crims to shine, and he now tries to turn it back around again. The bomb being defused. Molotov put down. Will it be enough to stop the defusal? It's so very close, but they steal it in amongst all the action. Inferno living up to its name. Find out if Fnatic can convert after this break.
Right? Oh, they picked up the P2. There's free dual Berettas, guys. Come on. That's like free ice cream. Or, I don't know, free shoes you find on the street. Either way, Issa is going to get himself an entry. It is going to be gold and boosted up over the top. Issa's currently reloading, but Alexi B, he checks the boost. Nice to see it. Something I haven't actually had to say before, but after watching Asian Counter-Strike, checking the boost has become something I don't see very often. JW, though, hello, he's back once again, trying to do more in the pistol rounds. A Molotov in his hands as well that he's retrieved. Crims alongside in the back corner, cleared. Nowhere for MBK to run to, and JW, he finds his son. He's walked into the open. The goal of this man, but I think he ran out of bullets. He needed it to retrieve that Glock. And now Crims, the last man standing, a kit in hand, and of course it's a triple shot burst. Pretty much the luckiest player in the server at the moment. Maybe not. Crims with the timing. Now, this is where Brolin is at his deadliest. Facing him in the pit is a risk. Golden's just going to spam through the smoke. He goes back through. He might have a screw loose. He's wanting to face off against him with the MAC-10. Alexi B trying to fight with the Glock. And, well, I mentioned Brolin in the pit.
HP doesn't favor him. Weaponry doesn't favor him. And neither does the bullet.
In fact, all 3 players who are currently on that side of the map have a single flash between them. There is the single flash. It's going to leave a lot of the blind, and actually Golden, he's going to help capitalize. Flusher even spamming his own teammate through the smoke. He's going to help Valde along the way. Valde runs through, though. He didn't expect Crims to be here. There's only a matter of seconds left for them to get the bomb down, but the spam through is not quite going to do enough. It leaves them in a 2v3. Issa, Mantu, time to clutch.
And with both players on kits, it needs to be Mantu flawless, impeccable with his aim. He can't get it done, but they come off the bomb. Is there going to be enough time for the defuse? It's going to be cutting incredibly close. The question now is how well can Crims and JW hold the line? JW missing the first and a perfectly placed flashbang, nullifying Crims. JW getting desperate, spinning around desperately, but does at least get one. And pulls this back into proximity. There's only 8 seconds to go. One of these remaining T's has to just stick the plant. And in doing so, a headshot connects onto Mantu. Post-plant does fall up, but he's got 3 HP and 2 angry Swedes to contend against. Golden on one side, Flusher on the other. And he the filling of this sandwich that will be devoured on Fnatic. JW sometimes is susceptible to peek into them and gift wrap his life away. And what a crucial moment for that to end up happening. 11-11 with 20 seconds to go. Brolan holds on a little bit longer. Graveyard smoke affords him to go back in for a little bit more. Using that smoke devastatingly well. Gets an assist on Mantu, but thinning the herd and thinning the HP bars additionally for the T's. In comes Flusher. He's taken 1 player down, and Issa will be joined by Valda, leaving Alexi the Finn to stand against the 2 Swedes. The same 2 players that were in the clutch last time around. Alexi goes in, the bomb's not planted for him, and that puts him in such an awkward position. It's another post-plant, Tom. You were spot on. Pistol and the 4th round, the only 2 rounds.
It's gritty. They're happy to get down in the dirt. Unfortunately for OG, they just haven't been able to match up in these situations just yet. 2 smokes is all they have remaining, and CT side have 4 players waiting around this side, but they've finally done the impossible. They've cleared Brolin cleanly, but there's plenty more players. The bomb's dropped and there's only 20 seconds left. They need to get round. Now they spotted Golden in the corner, but it doesn't matter. He still takes one with him. And sure, maybe Fnatic allow for a bomb plant, but just look at Crims. He's already making the rounds. The push is coming in onto the side. Flash is going for a knife kill. What are they doing? This is madness. But even still, they come out on top. Valde is low, and they're going to clean it up. It doesn't even matter.
Who is last seen in this very position, actually gets mollied by his teammate. It tickles his toes, and that gives his position away. You can see JW come up on the kill feed. That's an awful Molotov. That's done way more harm than good. And Issa will punish them. Fnatic's economy in no place to go for this. A bit of a blunder, and OG make the most of it.
Now JW has mollied Golden out of the corner. This is absolute madness. JW still waiting, not falling back off the angle, and they do have to be a little bit careful because you have to look. Well, first you have to look for Brolin, but also JW in an aggressive position. He's got to be careful of the apartments. Timing's going to be everything. He's gone into the smoke, and Alexi B spots him. He's down and out without any impact, and Alexi B's pre-firing everything as he goes.
As United force, their economy will not afford them a buy. Issa a little bit off on the spray, but finally controls it right at the end, and there's not enough time. Flusher may very well detonate across with this bomb, but MBK takes him off beforehand. I believe Issa will die, but they don't care. It looks unlikely, but for Fnatic, so many times impossible has been nothing. Crims gets one, baiting him into a false sense of security, and Flusher carving a path through Issa, but then gets silenced by NBK. He did a lot of damage, but they're not expecting Alexi up close to getting one. Will be traded out by JW, but now they know exactly where he is. However, JW was an absolute monster on Mirage, has an incendiary. Does he guess correctly? Does he get a chance to even use it? No, NBK with a dry peek. That will be OG taking us to a third. It will be over past Tom. It could be a great game. Which is certainly the mentality that we've had throughout. Both times the teams have faced off against each other, but the first blood will be drawn by Brolan, and the Swedes look to steamroll ahead. They've completely ignored Mantu's position, but he only gets one and leaves Valde in an awkward spot, and he's cartwheeled into his death. Issa drawing around the back of them, but Crims holds on for his third of the round and puts all the pressure on Alexi. He is on the right side of the map.
It's just big balls play. He's just going to plant the bomb right in front of his opponent. No fear of a push with his teammate right by his side. Golden, he's been playing deagles a lot. That might come back to bite him. It's not a weapon known for its close range battles, but he hits the headshot right at the end. It's Fnatic. And in reality, they were kind of expecting maybe someone to go aggressive. A scout, very common when it comes to second round buys. Maybe expecting a peek. Instead, they've been met with nothing up until the 30-second timer hits. And now, well, this is where the CT side come back in force. Golden doing a good job to at least stop the leakage. But at the same time, there's still 3 players remaining for OG.
Yeah, they plugged in the holes, but more bullets being put down creates more issues to contend with. Fnatic have Flusher and Golden, but they're both tagged. So they know that time is of the essence, and they must push in. Mantu with another one, no kit, no chance. Even if he were able to capitalize onto Flusher, the round is still going the way of Fnatic. It's a really nice effort from OG, but ultimately, it's a bridge too far. Oh, he survives on 1 HP. That's so fortunate. They check the probabilities and they decide to push off the back of that. But time's starting to dwindle a little bit. Lexi, ooh, that looked like it could have been a headshot. Very fortunate Crims not to go down. It may have been Golden that was actually tagged just behind him. But Issa holding the line. There's Mantu. They've lost Issa. And with him the weapon, Brolan tagged to 17, but still standing. And standing long enough to use that AUG against the CTs. And we know that Brolan loves to pick up these guns.
But it's almost like they're always in that sort of midway through the film stage. Where, you know, like you get that initial battle between the bad guy and the good guy is going to lose.
For NBK, and pardon me, actually, Alexi does have a little bit of utility. He's got an incendiary, a smoke, and a flashbang. 25 seconds to go. NBK tossing in their grenade. Oh, that chunks and chips away Flusher and Brolan. They're both going to be struggling, limping in. But be careful, because Flusher still comes out with a massive headshot. Alexi perches up 2 before he's dropped. And with 15 seconds, Valde takes the initiative, pushing through the Molotov. JW know he's being flanked. 10 seconds to play with. He guesses wrong where one of the remaining 2 CTs are. but he's still on the dumpster. And he's looking to put the CTs in there. He's taken his shot, gives his position away, relocates again. In amongst all of this, the bomb has been ticking away, and JW connecting onto Valda, playing the mind games once again. Man 2-6 on the side. JW coming up, making noise, has played this perfectly. Is there enough time? This is cutting it so incredibly close, but Man 2 gets it. Now starting to throw in the smokes. MBK will be called upon. Orc-wielding JW down on long. Alexi, same position as last time, and it's the two CTs that dip in first, and Brolan, his only mission is damage. Golden unleashing him, unleashing the youngster, but he runs into the incoming traffic of Valda's M4. He has been cultivating plenty of carnage. Oh, and speaking of which, that HE flush on Brolan. Also tagging a couple more players with 23 seconds. Fnatic looking to try and steamroll over the site. They've got 2-1 deeks. Hold on a second. We were talking like this round was over. It's back open again for a bit of debate. And albeit on a weakened Fnatic that should get finished off, but should means nothing when there's Deagles and Swedes still alive. But there's not many left standing now. And Crims going for the M4, bit of an off angle, will get the drop on Valda, but the aim punch hurts him too badly. OG, after going 5-0...
It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head. Now he has the chance for 2, though. The freebie comes up onto Alexi B. We were expecting it. It seemed inevitable, but I had a small bit of hope. It almost reminds me of like one of those nature documentaries where you're hoping for the little guy to escape as the big bad predator hunts.
No happy ending this time, though, Tom. He went down and he's gone in for another. He's pounced. His bloodlust wasn't satiated. His hunger is still there. And he chomps and bites the rest of the CTs into submission. Obviously, this round is over. So whether Valda can survive. Speaking of smoke pushes, are we about to see another one here? No, they hold off.
Finally, they found his predator seems to be Issa, and MBK is already going to kill off Crims. It's almost turned into sort of a match with DM, like who has the quickest headshots, who's winning the spray downs. Because let's be real, Vince, like, have there been many situations for trade kills? Like, even just look at the positioning of different players dying. Sure, the connector's one of them. Oh, for God's sake.
He finally got his knife. He was flirting with the idea last map. He's been put down. Justice has been served. But he finally got it, Tom, you know? And Fnatic, they don't like how bitter this medicine is. They want to try and spit it out and get back into the face of OG. And that's what Flusher goes in for. Brolan also chipping in with an entry. But Man 2 silencing him. Hasn't dropped the bomb. So Brolan will at least get a bomb plant. Doesn't have any grenades to escape with. He'd like to have a smoke or a flash. Mitigating that flashbang tossed in. Tries to go for the headshot. Does tag Mantu. And this horribly goes wrong for OG. But as it stands, they forced out a little bit more maneuverability. Alexi round the corner. Finishing off a weakened JW. By the slimmest of margins, by the skin of their teeth. OG 2v4. It is still a winnable round, though, for Flusher and Golden to pick off. We've seen them land these before. Flusher getting himself 2 and a third out of nowhere. How is Flusher still in this round? And keep in mind the XP favoring Alexi, who may be able to get the frag. This has been flawless. Oh my God! That is sublime from Flusher. And finally, we see a smile on the face of the god.
Set his team up for what is a convincing T-side half, and it's been anything but convincing. That's the terrifying thing. There's certain rounds in Counter-Strike where you criticize the CT side. You say that they shouldn't be letting that one slip, and well, in this case, it's true, but at the same time, that was unreal from Flusher. That's unstoppable. This round, it's possible for OG.
9 HP, no kits between the two of them, but they do have a couple flashes and a smoke. Brolan, big kill onto Alexi, and it feels like that should be all she wrote for this half. Fnatic looking good for a 9-6 lead, and Issa trying to take a leaf away from Flush's crazy clutch in the previous round. But man, Tom, it will fall on deaf ears. Fnatic get it done. 9-6. We'll see if they can convert. But first, a short break.
Although, if anything, Fnatic are playing this in the same way most people at home would. They've rotated everybody onto the A site, and in fact, it is going to be an all-out brawl. Brolin, he's got his bare knuckles out, and he's brawling himself. 3 kills, all headshots, and now only 2 remain. But Flusher is on 1 HP. Now, that's enough, obviously. That wouldn't be the craziest thing he's done today. Nade's gonna dunk out Mantu. Now Issa. We saw him 1v3 ridiculous fashion on Dust 2 in a pistol round. If anything, he should have more of a chance. The headshot's needed, but they're sticking the bomb. They're just defusing it in front of him. They have no fear.
And they won't be waiting around, OG. They turn up the pace. They kick it up a notch. Crim's getting one, but he is shut down instantly afterwards before Golden goes in for another one. Runs out of ammunition. And now JW. Oh, all the kills. In the blink of an eye, just go the way of OG.
Brolin, he does manage one. Every player left is low, but it's this B side, though, it's relatively open, although the CT side have got an inkling, and I've actually rotated players into position. Flusher with the Deeg is getting tagged away, and Brolin, he needs to hit some tasty scout shots, but he doesn't last long. OG have done a fantastic job in this anti-eco, and oh, they might not even get a kill over on... Never mind.
Just madness. But I feel like this has been the closest map in terms of the scoreline and kind of the ebb and flow of this game as well. Tom, like a 5-0.
Starting to build into this T side. We need to see another hero play from Fnatic, and Brolin, he's in a pretty good position to at least steal a frag. Does Alexi B check this properly? It's an angle that you almost have to peek in to clear. Everything's been hurt by Brolin. That's the first of many, as the rest of the squad are all waiting from Fnatic. JW, he's going to land the first while Blind Flusher's still here as well. And now Brolin has that pincer. He has that push through the smoke. He might not even be needed. Mantu, he hits a worldie.
45 seconds. OG need to make sure they don't take too long on their approach, because this could play into the hands of some of these upgraded pistols. And indeed the M4. The boost is good for one. Tries to snap across again. Bit of damage to MBK. Brolan making the most of this momentary chaos to try and get the clarity of some headshots to bring this back underway on Fnatic. Golden also slips and slides away, and Brolan nearly threading a headshot. Eventually goes down alongside Flusher. OG. You
have to give props to Alexi B. You have to give props to the team. JW, this is a cheeky angle, and well, he gets a kill through the smoke, also gets killed through the smoke. Retakes on A have been a no-show. It's not been successful at all for Fnatic.
What?
What? Crims just goes jumping through the smoke, and he's found 2. He's done damage onto Valde as well. He's waiting on the corner. This time he does damage in return, but it's left onto MBK. A man who's been around for many a year. The first is all too easy, but Crims taps the bomb, tries to bait him into the diffuser, but at this point MBK has to know he can't be on it. The second tap might just be the bait he needs, but he spots him standing. He's not defusing. MBK is in Crims' head. Doesn't need to face this, and although the kill goes the way of Crims, like, losing a round like that would kill most rosters. They come back even stronger. They take it as an insult and then win the next few. This round, though, it's getting dicey once again. Fnatic, they're known for them, but MBK and Valde...
Discipline. Giving up short control, Flusher, holding on, Crim spray through Monster, collecting onto 2. And even though they got the quad boost frag in the hands of Mantu, everything else has collapsed. The Jordanian Issa moving in, joined alongside Mantu. HE does nothing. Can these guys rip and tear through the seat? Need to stand tall. Molotov is good. Onto short, stalling and segregating the oncoming T's. They go for the pre-fire, and Golden collects alongside Crims again, who gets his second. Mantu 1-on-3 with 15 seconds alongside him. No control of the bomb, and everything points to this being tied up one more time. Mantu now either save or pull back. But if pushing in, you die after time, it would have been brutal. Crims gets the 3K.
Wow. I was going to say it should give Golden the info he needs, but he goes looking for more. This is getting scary once again. The bomb will be planted. The pushes coming out have left Flusher so low. They're going to pressure him. And now it's just Brolin remaining. This should have been a money-making round. Instead, the youngster has to try and clutch it. Only one rifle retrieved. Most of them don't even have armor, but Mantu lands the headshot anyway. OG win a round.
Golden hoping for the Midas touch, but it's only the one. Flusher now stuck behind the incendiary. Caught and clotheslined by MBK. Spray from Crims is good, getting two in return. And he can now stand tall with 18 seconds to go. Just needs to keep some presence down. Mantu, while Flash takes him out the equation, leaving the AWPer left standing in amongst the remnants of his teammates. He may be getting flanked. JW's in hot pursuit and puts the bullet between his eyes. They need this defense to be infallible. They cannot afford any slips. The bomb's gone down first and it just catapults into the air, landing alongside Issa's double. 2-on-2, 40 seconds. There is a rotation coming into play, which is Crims, who's looking to conjure a bit of carnage on his approach. Flusher keeping the T's busy. Now Crims can activate with the M4 round the back. Alexi, two separate angles, and Crims dispatches both of them. Statistically hasn't necessarily been too hot on overpasses, had a lot of impact, and he's been great over the duration of the best of three. He's still alive, stands up, delivers with one, goes back in again, missing out, could get punished, but Brolan is there to lend him a helping hand. Will he grab onto it? Not just yet. He's not budging an inch. Now he starts to move away, and he lives, Tom. That is massive. No, he doesn't.
Wasting their time. 20 seconds is all that remains for OG. Maybe all that remains in this map. Crims, he starts it off. He may be blinded, maybe through smoke. It doesn't matter. Fnatic, they've got this done. It's left all onto Mantu. He's praying for a miracle through this smoke. Crims is going for a knife. The sheer audacity of this team, the audacity of Fnatic will continue. They may not call this a rivalry, Vince, but I'm sure that one is building. A 16-14 victory is as close as it gets, and sure, that sends Fnatic straight through